Hello everyone, every single one of you, good boys, good girls, ladies and gentlemen, friends and newcomers alike. My name is Douglas, and today we're gonna be returning to the return of the Obra Dinn to solve all of the murder mysteries. And along with the murder mysteries, every other single mystery that is there in this incredibly intriguing game. I had heard that it was a very intriguing game, but I did not know it was this intriguing, which was kind of fun. So let's get to it. So yesterday we went some extra time playing this game. And apparently we played for 5 hours, 34 minutes, and we've solved 27 fates. I don't think that's right, but who knows, maybe it was. I did solve quite a lot of fates. Yeah, here we are. And everything seems to be just the way we left it, which is dope. So yeah, I guess it was 37. So this one was the first, over here is the 15th, over here should be the 30th, over here should be the 40th, 5th, and over here should be the 6th yet. 60th yet, I don't know. So just to recap, this game works in the following manner. We have a map of the journey with every single part of the journey itself, what journey they were supposed to have made, and the journey they ended up making in the end. The layout of the ship and which path each character took, or rather where one part began and where it went next. A manifesto with all the crew members, their names, their professions, or rather qualities of where they are from, and which fate befell them. And finally, a two sketches of the characters, or rather of happenstances during their time at sea. The biggest mystery here is assigning a name to each face. We know the names, we know the faces, all we have to do is figure out who is who by revisiting memories of a dead person's last moments on Earth. And with that, we are able to piece together some things. Some things are very easy to piece out because they straight up say who they are, or someone around them says what are their profession by calling them a specific name. Other things are more obscure and harder to guess. And sometimes the answer to someone's murder mystery is in a previous or memory, seen from someone else's perspective. So this game comes and goes, and it's really weird, but I'm truly enjoying it so far. And the idea is that we have chapters, and each chapter has many parts. So this one has 2 deaths, and as we go through chapters we have to solve everything, and the objective is to solve the entirety of the book, except for chapter 8, the bargain, which will be revealed when we've finished everything else. And that's about it. And also, hello there, Rhaegorn. Welcome to the stream if you're still there. How are you doing today? So for this game here, I'm really talking my way through everything. Because I really need to understand the reasonings, the everything, and really talk my way around and through. Understand what happened. And Rhaegar, you say Merp playing some Sudurika. Oh yeah. The beeps were talking about that one. I have tried playing that one. I downloaded it. Then I tried playing it, but I don't know, it did not appeal to me, I'm afraid. Alright. Let's go back. Chapter 3. Murder. I know who this is and how they were murdered. I know who this is and how they died. This person here, I don't know who you are. The game tells me that I have enough information to make a deduction, even though you only show up in 2 memories. So that could mean that in one of these memories you were doing something that gave away your position and who you are. Or through process of elimination I can figure out who you are. Then there was chapter 4, the calling, which we have to play in opposite order because it be like that. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, Rhaegar, how are you doing today? And how are you liking Sudurika?
Ahoy! Wait! Don't shoot! I have treasure! I yield!
Hold your fire!
So that's how Edward Nichols died. This man shot him. Yeah, sorry. Chilton, you have shot him, but I don't know what fate befell you. But I know that this one is Itbang Sia, you were burned to death. This is Bunlan Ling, you were clawed by a terrible beast, and you are Hoksang Lam, and you were shot with a gun by Henry Brennan. Since you guys are the Formosan royalty, you could only be the only other Formosian person who haven't still not identified. So you are definitely Shilton. I just have to know how you died. You died in this chapter here, Unholy Captives, Part 1. Maybe I'm better off trying to figure out how you died, since I am absolutely sure of who you are. You died in the chapter 5, the unholy captives. So to access this, I have to see these bodies here. And Rhaegar, you said that you're doing alright, and you are enjoying it. You love its art style. Oh yeah, I liked it too. It has good enough production value.
What do you know about these things? About the chest and your dead friends? Shell? What shell?
That's how they die. So you, Formosan royalty, you were spiked by a terrible beast. There we go. Well done, 3 more fates correct. In the end, Olus Wither was shot with a gun by that person. Chiotan was spiked by a terrible beast. And Thomas Lanke was knifed by Olus Wither. Oh boy! This was fun, and we solved 30 fates already. So that's halfway through the game, I believe. And also, hello there, Rain Shep, or rather, Watson. How you doing today in this lovely morning? But yeah, Rhaegar, the Sudorica game, it does screams production value. It's pretty good. So by process of elimination, we guessed that this person was Thomas Lanke, and he was knifed by Olus Wither, whom we guessed was the gunner's mate. How though? Because in this photograph, people are really grouped up by who they are and their positions. So here's the captain, and everyone with this sort of sea officer cap are the mates. So this is the first mate, second mate, third mate. We are still not sure how he died, or if he even died, but I'm definitely sure he is the third mate. And the fourth mate is all the way back here. Then this guy is the gunner, and we are sure of that he is the gunner. And some seamen here are doing the shooting. But we guessed that he was the gunner's mate because he was beside him, and he has a nice little head. Almost no one else has hats, except for this guy, which was the bosun. That's how I guessed. He was the gunner's mate, and apparently we were right. So whoever you are, you two seems to know a thing or two about Formosian, the language. So I wanna guess that you guys are Chinese. If you come to this chapter's development in Holy Captives, part 1. Someone goes and says, "What are those monsters? Where are they from? You must tell us everything." And then this guy goes, "This is your fault, the shell must be protected, we will all die." And then You say, he talk about a shell, very dangerous. So now I'm positively sure that these guys are one of the Chinese top men. Problem is guessing who is who. Because that is the only clue I have. Is that they were able to tell who they were able to tell to translate what the Formorian people were saying. Formosian people were saying. And that's it. That's all I have. And also Rain Shep says, didn't the gunner's mate stab someone? Yes, the game confirmed that memory already. But now we know that for sure. So you're either Huang Li, Ji Zhang, Li Hong, or Wei Li. Perishing that memory. Showed me that one. You're the surgeon. Now I know that for sure. You're the surgeon's mate. You I know for sure. You're... Who are you? Who could you be? You're possibly John Apples? And you were torn apart by Henry Evans? No, I don't think so. In which chapter did you die? You died in Unholy Captives Part 4. So I guess that if I keep scrolling around on the other chapters of Unholy Captives, I'll figure it out. So this is an Unholy Captives Part 1. You died in Part 4. So let's review Part 2 and 3 to see if there's something else we can learn from that. Ray Shep's a surgeon's mate then. What do you mean? We have confirmed who the surgeon mate and the gunner's mate are. We have confirmed those identities already. So your corpse is in the gun deck. Let's go down there. By the way, I severely want to apologize for any of you who are
Clear the deck. Move the boat to stern and throw the bodies over.
What's your foot in?
Hey there, what's this? Give him to me and I can fry us a solid meal, boys.
Careful now. Take it slow.
What's it, gentlemen? There's a free shell here. Let's have a look.
No, get back.
if you guys are are not finding this game interesting or anything else. Because I certainly am liking this game, but I certainly do understand if you guys feel like this is extremely slow paced and everything else. So who are you? No, you're... So John Apples isn't here anymore. Could it be you? Yes, there you are. So you were carrying the little hammock or the stretcher with the sea creature that whacked the cook in the face and killed him. So this is not yet the chapter in which you died, but we can see the evil sea creature is over there. Who are you running away? Philip Dahl, the captain's steward, have not yet fully decided on who he is. Rain Shepherd said that the surgeon's mate killed Naples. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that. I feel like it was the monsters. I just need to know exactly how. And I feel like the way he died is not in his memory but in a previous memory. And also, I forgot to say, but I have increased the delay in the heist and the boss mini games, so now they will happen much less frequently. So there he goes. John Apples, apparently he got attacked by the creature's tail. So he was torn apart by a terrible beast. Or he was struck with a tail. And he wasn't struck dead, he was torn apart because in the next part he has no arm or leg. Isn't it? Or isn't it? Or is it? Okay, you're the artist. You're the butcher. You're one of the one of the Indian guys. You two are the carpenters. You're him, whoever he is. Wait. You disappeared in the Doom. So I feel like you're a midshipman, Peter Milroy, because of what another character had said. And you were spirited away by the beast. So how do we... You fell overboard. Nah. You were dragged away by the beast. I don't know what happened to you, but I'm almost positive you are the other midshipman. Because there we go, we have midshipman Thomas Lanke, have the midshipman Charles Herstick, and we have these other midshipmen, and all of them seem to be wearing very similar clothing. So you, I would guess, you're another midshipman if there is any other. Did you? No, you were blasted by an explosion, so you couldn't be the one who fell overboard. I don't know who you are. And Rainshap says, well, they cut off his leg. Zach says, hello. Hello there, Zach. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? We're trying to solve all sorts of murder mysteries here. Okay, so you are falling down the stairs, John Naples. In part 4. You were crushed. William Wazim was crushed by falling cargo. Yeah, you were. But there seems to be a ridiculous gap in reasoning. Because you died, and next thing we know, all the way down on the other side of the cargo hold is the body of John Naples. How weird. But anyway, how are you doing today, Zach? And also, Rainshap, I saw part of your
Keep pressure here.
Hold him down.
your Mass Effect stream yesterday.
What madness is this? 20 years my steward had never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those ungodly beasts carry a curse. Throw them back or doom us all.
Tie him up and put him in the lazarette with those things. He may yet find his senses.
Come on. All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. Where's the rest of his leg?
Okay, so who are you? You're the surgeon's mate, James Wallace. For John Naples, apparently you were torn apart by the surgeon's mate, James Wallace. Because this is the tricky part here. There's this whole discussion between the characters, but while the characters are discussing, we are not truly paying attention to the sounds that he is making. Because he is certainly making a lot of sound. Have I decided who you are? No, I have not. We know you are the captain, and he have decided that he is the captain's steward. But he doesn't have a memory of him dying, so he can't confirm his fate. So they're bringing the thing. And John Naples, your leg is nowhere to be seen. I am afraid. So whatever happened to it, you lost it forever. Well, you're dead, so it's not like that matters. I am afraid. But that's for sure. You lost your leg, they're taking that guy away. Man, this is a tricky one. But I feel like we have to go back to the we were solving the mystery all the way over there. So all the action was happening over here, whereas your leg was all the way over here. But in none of the chapters we see anything happening to you, so how the hell? Well, nonetheless, I feel like we have to go to the gun deck and try to understand what happened in this chapter, because now we have a better information of who is who and whatnot, so we can deduce more things about all these dead people. But anyway, how are you doing so far, Zach and Ringshep? Like I said, though, I saw your part of your Mass Effect stream yesterday.
Oh no, you're cut.
Don't. Leave me.
Bear up, son. I'll stay with you.
Tell Pete's mother.
So you're saying things. Tell Pete's mother I try my best to pull him back, to save him.
I tried my best
Aye.
to pull him back, to save him.
You tell her yourself. Brennan! Bring the surgeons, kid!
You're Brennan. And you're... whoever. Who are you? Where's youngster Brennan again? Oh yeah, he's in that other picture. Alright, so apparently this guy is very concerned that his mate Pete fell to his death. Where did he fell from? He certainly fell from the ship into his doom somewhere, but did he die from falling, or did he got dragged underwater and drowned? That's the problem. But anyway, Ringshep, the whole stream, it seemed to be kind of glitching a little bit. There's some tear on the image. That's a little weird. But other than that, it seemed like you guys were having quite a good time. Okay, this is the Doom Part 2. Part 1 of the Doom starts with some people on a boat, probably escaping. It's in the main deck, in the body of Lars. Yes. Because I feel like not everyone.
Let me on. Over my dead body, you bloody day. How's that?
No cause for trouble, boys. Get in the boat.
Before I forget, you killed my brother. What? That was an accident. No ropes.
It wasn't his fault. I saw the whole thing.
Lies. I shouldn't have waited so long.
No, don't.
Okay, so you kill Lars because you feel like he killed your brother in one of the earliest chapters. Possibly Peter Milroy. You're Maba the Top Man. Possibly. So this is the first chapter of the Doom. The sea creatures are still not attacking yet. Zach, you say what's this game that? It's a investigation mystery of sorts. So there's this ship I've been tasked with investigating and figuring out what the hell happened with it. And I do that by revisiting a dead person's last moments on Earth. And through that, I am piecing together who was who and which fate they met. Because most people are now, well, most bodies are not even on the boat anymore, and some are decomposed skeletons. So that's how I am figuring out who is who, by rewatching their death moments. Part 2 of the Doom. So Edward Spratt, the artist, he was taking a dump and then he was crushed. While that was happening, you possibly heard the noises and was visibly concerned. You are also holding cooking utensils. A lot of people were sleeping. We can see that by their bed cots. Number 44, 43 are still alive by then. Who are they? Anyway, it's a very it's a very slow-paced game, but I'm truly loving it so far. Okay. 43 Maba and 44 Lewis Walker. They were still alive then, but I have no idea who is Lewis Walker. These other cots were abandoned, either because their tenants had died or because they were not there simply. And Zack is a kraken or hentai tentacles. Yeah, one or the other. It's actually a kraken, I think. Okay, so you are that guy. Suddenly you're there. And the fourth mate, John Davis, and you are investigating what the hell happened to Lars in this chapter. So all of these guys with these clothes, they look like stewards. So this is the first mate steward, I'm almost certain. This is the third mate's, third mate's steward. There are two more stewards, which I can try and guess, or you know, actually deduce. This unknown soul is alive in Africa. Could you be the ship's steward, Zungi Sati, an Indian guy? I'm gonna guess that you are him. Or you are the fourth mate's steward. That is still an available position. Yes, it is. Davy James from England. That could be you. You look like you could be Indian, so you're the ship's steward. And you could be possibly, probably the second mate's steward. Since all the mates are here. Third mate, the first mate, and the second mate. Alongside the captain. Were strangled by Itbengsia. He was killed with a sword by someone else, which we have yet to identify, and you were shot with a gun by an unknown attacker in the Soldiers of the Sea Part 7. Oh yeah, I'll never figure out who that is. Look at that, the Kraken has started to show up. They're still oblivious to it. Whereas these two other guys are just chilling and talking. Number 56 is still alive. Who happens to be Harry Brennan, was knifed by Robert Whitrow. Oh, at the very end of this little comic book. Number X was still alive too, apparently. We'll never know who is Number X. Actually, we do, but nonetheless. And you're bringing the third mate's food. So that's how I guess you are the third mate's steward. And you're bringing food somewhere else. Yeah, I don't feel like there's any other information we can derivate from this whole happenstance. Other than number 45 is also alive. Leonid Volkov, a Russian guy. Oh, actually this is a very good clue. Depending on if he is a topman or not. Yeah, he's a topman, tell them. Because there are 3 Russian guys, but 2 of them died in previous chapters, I think. So this is the Doom Part 2. Let's go back at it. The Doom Part 2. Okay, so I know that by now that guy is still alive. Lots and lots and lots of deaths. Okay, so these two Russian guys, they died in that chapter, the colon. So whoever isn't those is still alive. That's how I know. Okay, the shooter and the guy with the goatee. So you're the other Russian. Do you need Volkov, the topman? So now figuring the other two would be so much easier. So you could be Alexei Toporov and you could be Alarkas Nikishin. Or the other way around. But this is interesting. And Zach said that this game got quite the unique art style and graphics. Yeah, it sure as heck does. And this is the thing I really like about this, true, is that most games, or rather most people when talking about games, they talk about graphics. Like, this game has good graphics or this game has bad graphics. But little do they know, graphics doesn't really matter. What really matters is the art style. The art style is good and concise, then you don't need an amazing graphics. Even simple graphics like this, they are able to pass on the message. The idea with these graphics here, or rather this art style, is to keep things simple. Is to keep things simple and also reminiscent of old computers' monitors. So to give sort of a nostalgic air to the game. But also, with the graphics being this simple, you're not able to tell 100% with 100% sure what is going on, and that's part of the fun here. It's precisely you having to figure things by intuition rather than being able to precisely say, oh, this is certainly this person, this is definitely what is happening to them. Instead you have to figure things out. By using many knowledges. So yeah, this is the Russian guy, indeed, which we determined was still alive. You're that guy. You're Abraham Akbar. You're crushed by a beast. But you had light up the fuse already. And the gunner, Christian Wolf, he was also being grabbed by the tentacles. And this is This guy. Who was trying to help him. But the mystery of this part was this was figuring out that you were crushed by a terrible beast. And in the next page is figuring out that you were blasted with a cannon by an unknown attacker who happens to be Abraham Akbar. Who was manning the cannon, or the terrible beast. Range Shepard say it's basically 1600s or 1700s newsprint. Yeah, it also definitely looks like that. This makes matters so... everything so much more enticing to look at. And also, a game with graphics like this, you don't need an incredibly awesome computer to run it. I don't think. I would hope that a simple computer could run this as well. So this is what happened here. All of you guys are still okay. So the time skip between this part and the previous part wasn't as big. There's the Indian guy who was crushed. You're the gunner. You were certainly, definitely shot. Blasted away. Can't go any further than that. I can't open the doors inside the revisitation. There are limitations to what I can do in here. But weirdly enough, that is it. We are not able to see the other guy. Suddenly he simply vanished. So not only don't I know who you are, but I don't know what fate befell you. If you were also shot with a cannon, if you fell from overboard, possibly, or if you were or if you drowned. All manner of things could have happened to you. All I know is that suddenly you were here in this chapter, and then, well, you were here in the previous part, but now you're not here anymore. And Rainy said that whoever lit the fuse killed them. And yeah, I think the guy that lit the fuse is Abraham Akbar. He had lit the fuse, but he died, crushed with the thing. So all I can say that the gunner was blasted with a cannon by the guy who lit the fuse. And Rain also said that Doug, the guy that was in front of the cannon, would have been liquefied, so the guy in front should have been blown back. But that is it. This is the guy who was in front of the cannon. The gunner. The other guy, this guy over here, he was behind him. Man, this is a confusing one, that's for sure. And there's no other clues around with things such as what are the characters doing, where they're going, what's going on. All it helps me to deduce is that one of the other Russian guys are still alive. Alright, the next. The next bit happened right over there in the corner. Ray Shepard just said that both of them died to the cannon. I mean, sure, why not? This unknown soul was shot with a cannon by Abraham Akbar. Let's see how that goes. But before there's this guy, this poor soul who also died. So you're still there and you're still dead. You, third mate's steward, you're being crushed by a cannon. I can't climb over there. This unknown soul was blasted by an explosion. This is Thomas Lanke, who was knifed later when he discovered the mutiny. There's nothing going on back there, there's no one hiding over here. You're the third mate. What just happened to see your steward being crushed? This is the body of the gunner who had just been shot, and that's it. There was nothing else in here from the previous part, so the other guy's body simply disappeared. So yeah, I'm gonna go with what you said, Rinshep. For now, let's just say that both of them died to the cannon. I think that if and when we are closer to finishing the game and have found out most fates, we can start guessing. Because right now, from the very get-go, it's incredibly hard and impossible to guess. There's simply so much going on that to guess would not very much help. So in the main deck is the body of a person who was blown away by an explosion. Where though? Chapter 7, The Doom, Part 6. So this is it. We know that he died. Possibly because he exploded. Of course though, the tentacle was already grabbing him, but we could very well say that it was the explosion that did him. There's this crazy rigging going on. And you... well, anyone could say that you fell through the water. So this unknown soul, what happened to you? You fell overboard or you drowned? I'm gonna say that you fell overboard. Because if I'm gonna say that you drowned, we would imply that someone forced you to drown. So I have to say who was the murderer. If I say that you fell, then that's it, you fell. Who are you? You're the fourth mate. You're the gunner's mate, who's bringing guns, obviously. You're the guy who we can't say for sure who you are. You're midshipman Thomas Lanke. And this guy here, Rain Shappy said that he was probably a midshipman or steward. Possibly. Where were you in the picture again? The crew. There you are, looking bored with your arms crossed. But these are midshipmen. Since you disappeared and there's nobody to be spoken of, I'm gonna guess that you are a midshipman as well, because you're Pete, who was mentioned in another. You fell overboard. So those three are midshipmen. They're kinda grouped together, but not so much. So who could you be? And also, hello there, Seth. Welcome to the stream, and thank you so very much for that delicious canine host. How are you doing today? In this delicious Friday morning. So I don't think that you are in fact a... well, you can't be a midshipman, because there's two midshipmen I know for sure who they are. Or are you Pete? I don't think you are Pete. Oh my dog, you are Pete. What the hell? Alright, Peter Milroy was blasted by an explosion. Christian Wolf was blasted by a cannon by Abraham Akbar. And Davy James is alive in Africa. Little by little, we're piecing it all together. God damn. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so all the disappeared people in chapter 9 escape are accounted for. In fact, everyone in chapter 9 is definitely accounted for. Okay, so Thomas Lanke, you're right here shooting a thing of explosives, and you say, tell Pete's mother I tried my best to pull him back to save him. Also, when you say pull him back, was because you guys were tethered by ropes. You did try to pull him back, but you couldn't because the creature was pulling him. I see. But anyway, how are you doing, Seth? What's popping today in your life today? Ah, Leonid Volkov. You were shot by the unknown attacker. No, you were shot by one of the passengers. Emily Jackson. And Paul Moss, you were killed by Leonid Volkov. Okay, so now I just need one more confirmed. Just need to confirm one more fate. To have the game tell me what happened. Okay, so who are you if you're not the midman? You fell to your death. We don't know what happened to you, in fact. I have to look through every single memory and look all around to see if there isn't any bodies flying around or whatever, to determine what the hell happened to you guys. And rank chap is a bosun, mate, or purser. Who? This guy here? Yeah, we do have a bosun's mate or a purser. In one of the chapters, I think part 1, the bosun says, "Where's my Frenchman?" and he says this quit's gun and your mate was torn apart. So the bosun's mate was torn apart and is dead. Who is or was the bosun again? Gotta find him in these pictures. Okay, he's not here. Okay, there you are. You're the bosun. And your mate, a Frenchman, was torn apart and is dead. But who could he be? Hmm. Hmm. Okay, this is very complicated. And Ray Shepard said that the guy at the wheel is the helmsman. Yeah, I felt so too. Finley Dalton is the helmsman. For sure. But we don't know what happened to him. You disappeared in the Doom. That's all we know, that you disappeared, but we don't know what fate happened, what fate befell you. Alright, I think we have done enough here. Part 7 is you died. Your body is in the main deck apparently. Here. Hmm. Okay, whoever you are, you definitely were torn apart by a terrible beast. You are the fourth mate. You are throwing spears. Oh, there we have it. Okay, 3 bodies are flying away. We can't safely say who these are. But they are 100% falling to their deaths in there. Orange Shep is a wrong person. We have had it like that for a long time. Yeah, it certainly isn't that guy then. It isn't Timothy Buttman. We said it might have been him because he's Scottish, and we have believed that the Scottish person would have been the only person to have this kind of tattoos, Celtic tattoos on them. But he could be Irish, or not. So at this point, he could be literally anyone. Oh, he could be the purser. Because he's also Scottish. Although, I don't think you're a purser. And Ray Shepard said, it is a topman, so yeah. It's one of the topmans, but I don't know which one. You're the bosun. And you're the gunner's mate. You're midshipman. Thomas Lanke. You are a dead body. Pete. Oh, alright. Guys were able to cut pieces of the squid after it was exploded, of course. Okay, so you're that guy. So amongst the disappeared bodies, it's not you. But those three boys and girls who are falling down, it could only be these three. They fell overboard. Ah. There you go. 3 more fates correct. Finlay Dalton, the helmsman, fell overboard to his death. Paul Moss was killed with a sword by Leonid Volkov, and Leonid Volkov was shot with a gun by Emily Jackson. Haha. There we go, Watson. Piece by piece, we're figuring out this whole mystery. And damn, we're really making a lot of progress here. I thought we were gonna be spending quite a while just trying to figure out who was who. And indeed, we have spent 1.5 hours already just doing that, but I thought it was gonna take much longer. So okay, you fell before and you are still alive then. So I don't know who you are, but you also fell overboard. And you too fell overboard. Oh no. Oh no, never mind. Never mind. Could have been these two as well who fell to their deaths. They are so far away it's impossible to tell who is who. But I know for a fact that... Okay, so for right now, let's say that every single one of you fell overboard. No, you had already fell overboard. So you fell overboard. Actually, do you show up later? No, you disappeared into doom. Yeah, that was disappearances normally means. Okay. You also fell overboard. And you fell overboard. Until we can confirm otherwise. Everyone fell overboard. Rainshaft says the guy in the turban did fall, but he fell before the boat was cast into the air. Yeah, he fell in a previous chapter, but I don't remember exactly when. Also, hello there, Seth, with your cute little Seth icon. What's up? Oh man, Rainshaft, could you throw in some delicious Doug emotes? At Seth, please. Ah, and there you are. So you didn't fall overboard. You're still there. So you fell overboard, you fell overboard, and you fell overboard. And your third mate. There's no one in the rigging. Oh, there is a person in the rigging. Who are you? Oh, you're that guy. So you're a top man. Because if I'm not mistaken, only the top men deal with the riggings and whatnot. So you could be a Scottish man, an Englishman, or another Englishman. The last available topman. So you could be Lewis Walker, Nicholas Botterill, or Timothy Butterman. But now I know one thing. All these guys here are top men. And Rainshaft says he might be Persian or Indian topman. Yeah, That's where I'm sitting on the fence. No, there's no Indian topman, so he is the Persian. What made it go? There's no Indian guys in here. No Indian people amongst the topmen. Or if there was, we already determined their fate. And then all these other guys are topmen. I am almost sure. What other memories did you show up in? The first memory you showed up in was this one, but it doesn't count because everyone was alive and asleep, so it's impossible to tell apart who was who. You also let's bookmark those memories. The first memory appears this, then this, where he gets whacked in the face. The other memory you appear in is this, when a guy is being electrocuted. So you're a topman, and I feel like you're one of the Chinese topmen alongside with that guy. Alright. I will have to examine that event a little bit on its own. Because right now I think I've got all I could from this particular event here. Rhaegar, you said, you're a turtle. Why do you say so, Rhaegar? Okay, you were electrocuted in this chapter. Soldiers of the Sea, Part 1. And I can't say who you are, but I know you're there. You were electrocuted. Shame on you. You're top man. You're another Chinese top man. I think you are too. You're another topman. You're the other topman, and there's no more topman above us. Have I confirmed your identity? Yes, you are Leonid Volkov. Yes. But that's all I could gather from this. There are all topmen. Oh no, there you. You're the guy with the turban. Well, you can kind of tell who you are already. And that guy who is climbing up the rigging, but I can't determine who you are because I can't get close enough. There's you and you. was so confusing. And Rhaegar says, "Cause you are help." What? Do you mean you are the help? Have you come to help us solve the murder? Or rather the many murder mysteries? Rain Shep says the Wa Bum 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 is back. Which Wa Bum Bum Bum? I am slightly unsure. Okay, whoever you are, you were definitely speared. The electrocuted man was still falling down. And all of you are seamen. You, I know who you are. You, I'm sure who you are. Just haven't determined your fate yet. You, I know you are Abraham and Akbar. You're the last seaman over there. There's quite a few, so it's kinda tricky to guess. Do I know who you are? You're him. And you have such a memorable face, and yet I know so very little about you. And Rain Shepard said you would say guess the electrocuted one. Yeah. That might be the way to go. I'm gonna say that you are Huang Li. Oh my dog, we did guess it. Well done, 3 more fates correct. Omid Go fell overboard to his death. Huang Li was electrocuted. And Nathan Peters fell overboard to his death. There ought to be a way to do those things without guessing so much, but well, I guess that this is it. Like, this is how the game is supposed to be played in a way, or at least it was designed this way. Unless you truly know deep down everything that happened, it's gonna be impossible for you to guess exactly who is who at every given moment. So at certain points you are gonna start to have guessing, and the idea is do the persons who you are 100% sure first, and then you have less candidates for the guessing game. But that's how it will work. So this unknown, so I can guess that you're one of the other 3 China top men. Okay, part. You exploded. You were torn apart. Abigail was crushed by falling rigging. Your corpse is in the captain cabins. So you were 100% crushed by falling rigging. There's no two ways about that. I feel like this is Martin. We just have not yet confirmed his fate. You're one of the top men carrying the other top man away, or at least half his body away. You're shoving a spear into the tentacle monster. You, the bosun, were torn apart by a terrible beast. Apparently not yet, because right now you're just being grabbed. Okay, you're Martin. I can't get up there. You're Miss Emily and you're Miss... No, you're Emily and you're Miss whatever. What's her name? Jane. And your first mate's steward, Paul Moss. So the three of them were together and decided to escape together. You're the gunner's mate. And you're the helmsman. You fell overboard through your death. How did I determine that? When did that happen? I guess I determined that just by intuition. And Rain Shep says, looks like Martin survived the doom. Maybe. There is this big problem that the entirety of chapter 8 is empty, and I will only get to know it when I leave the ship and return the book. And the 50th part of the bargain chapter is in the Lazarette, but I can't access there. I cannot. Okay, so you're definitely a topman. Game tells me I have enough clues to make a very precise guess about who you are. So could you be Ji Zhang or Li Hong or Wei Li? I don't know. Or is it because every other Chinaman was dead or killed in the previous chapters, and that's how I can say for sure who you are? No, that's not it. Well, this is definitely another China topman. And you're the first death who I can't say for sure. You are a topman though. Rain Shep says Bloody Devil is in English. I don't think so. Because the lines that the dead person said are marked with an X. That's how I know they're the ones who said that line. So he whoever he is didn't say anything. He just screamed or made anguish and pain noises. He didn't say anything. Well, once again, I guess I got everything I could from that chapter. Like the game itself says, there is information to be had in the Lazaret. Problem is, I can't go there. I don't think. So I solved your murder. I solved your murder. I solved a lot of things. Yours too. You were in fact Hokseng Lao, and you were shot by Henry Brennan. And you were indeed the Italian men who were murdered. And the both of you, yes, I guessed you guys is true. Lastly, John Apples is torn apart by James Wallace. That is our working guess. Working theory, rather. Alright, with a little bit more information, I guess we can go back to those Sea War chapters. The calling. So you, I know who you are and how you died. You though, I know who you are and how you died. You, I know who you are and how you died. But by accessing your memories, I can go back even further. By accessing this body in part 2. This body in part 4, or that body in part 1. Let's go to part 3. But yeah, I'm really curious about whatever happened to Martin.
O'Hagan, you still breathing?
O'Hagan.
On your own? Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake!
Okay, so definitely one of the people who are dead in this chapter is O'Hagan. Could it be you? Alright, let's go back to the calling. So we know that the two Russian men, they were drowned by the terrible beast. And one of the men, you, is possibly O'Hagan. The seaman, Patrick O'Hagan. The other two of you are the Russian men. So if the game has not given me the answer, it's because probably I have inverted your guys' name. You're the other Russian guy. Yes. I had them reversed. Well done, 3 more fates correct. Alarcus Nikishin was drowned by a terrible beast. Petr Kohagen was speared by a terrible beast. And Alexei Toporov was drowned by a terrible beast. Just 3 more fates and we get you 45. You died in part 1. Now first I wanna go to part 2. When you died. When this boat was full of people.
Keep rowing! Where is it? There! Something there! I see it! Give us a weapon! Shoot it! Mike and I! Pick up the oars and row, you fools!
Who are you? I know who you are already. So the only problem is you. I guess that you were the second mate's steward, but it could possibly be someone else. Unless you were not strangled. And Ray Shepard said the Chinese seamen. Are there Chinese seamen? I think it was the Chinese were just topmen. Either Wei Li or Li Hong or Ji Zhang. What concerns me is this guy. Because in his chapter we can see this. The Formosian guy definitely trying to choke him or something. So I thought that he was strangled by Itbang Sia. But something is wrong about this. Either he's not the second mate's steward, or he was not strangled. He died some other way. How did you die? Pray tell. Holy.
Keep course due east. Reach the Canaries in 3 days. You packed enough stores?
Aye, sir. Checked and loaded them myself.
Good. Stay quiet and alert. If the wind picks up, we've no chance.
They say strange thing about monsters, so yeah. You are definitely one of the Chinese men because they knew promotion. Ray Shepard say change the name of that might be the purser. Could it? Duncan McKay the purser. So this is the fourth mate's steward. That's for sure. I thought all of these guys here are stewards because they are packed together. So the first and third mate's steward are there. That's why I have this intuition that they are all stewards. This is third mate Martin. Perot. Oh. Dog damn knows where he is. Look at that, so many confirmed people. Except you, I have no idea who you are. So pretty much I have to figure out who are the top men and some of these seamen. So could it be the other way around, that you're not the carpenter but you're the carpenter's mate? And this is the carpenter. Could it be the other way around? Because I had you guys' death pretty much confirmed the way you died, but the game did not confirm who you are. Yeah, look at this. There's so many people who we have 100% confirmed who they are. There are just a few leftovers.
Shut it up. This is strange news.
So I want to go back to the third part of this. When you died. Just so we can be certain of what happened.
O'Hagan, you still breathing? Can you roll? Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake!
That's how you died. Oh no, you were not strangled. You were stabbed in the neck. That's what happened. So you were knifed by Ibn Sia. Could you go back to being the second mate's steward then? Yes. There we go. 3 more fates correct. Samuel Galligan was knifed by Ibn Sia. Marcus Gibbs was spiked by a terrible beast. And Winston Smith was speared by a terrible beast. So yeah, I had it reversed. Who was the actual carpenter and who was the carpenter's mate? I had those two switched around. Alright, so now I have guessed pretty much who is everyone in this, the calling chapter. So to begin with, Ji Zhang was speared by a terrible beast. Since the game did not confirm this, you may also be Li Hong or Wei Li, so let's leave you as Li Hong for now. Patrick O'Hagan was speared. Samuel Galligan was knifed. Bunglam Ling was clawed. Id Beng Sia was burned. Edward Nichols was shot by Chiotan. And these guys, the Russian guys, they were drowned / disappeared. One of the top men were shot with a gun by Edward Nichols. Let's guess you're English. Or rather you're Scottish. No, you're the English one. Lewis Walker. Just for kicks. And then in chapter 5, Unholy Captives, a lot more went down. And also, hello there, Spiker. Welcome to the stream. You said, obviously, the butler did it. They're not butlers in here. There's a lot of stewards, though. And I don't think the stewards killed anyone. Every single one of them was killed, except the fourth mate, the steward, but they were all killed. Or died in weird ways. And you also said so many dead people. Yeah, that is the entire idea. This ship with 60 souls, every single one of them died somehow. The captain committed suicide, the first mate was shot, the second mate was shot, the fourth mate was clubbed to death, the bosun was torn apart by a beast, the surgeon Harry Evans is alive and is in Africa. James Wallace, the surgeon's mate, was clawed. So none of these people, well, a small handful of these people is alive, like 4 or 5 people. And now I'm trying to figure out what happened to every single one of them. Reviving, well, going back through moments in their lives. It's an interesting game. You should give it a try. Alright, Unholy Captives, what happened here? And also, hello there, Oni, welcome to the stream. You said Boruk. I said no, wait. What? What's up? What's up, Oni? So there you are. John Naples was torn apart by James Wallace, the surgeon's mate. There's definitely something wrong with this, because no matter how it throw this thing here, you never get it right. So I wonder what's wrong with this. And also, Ray Shep, what are you barking for? What happened? What happened? So you know what? I'm gonna go back to saying that you were torn apart by a terrible beast. No, it doesn't make sense. On Spycare you ask, is it like a procedurally generated game? No. It's a fixed story. So it's kinda like it's only good for one playthrough. There's no replay value, and also yeah, spoiler alert if you're here in the stream. A lot of this game will be invalidated for you, so there's that. Ray Shep says, died from sickness or expired? Expired I don't think it is, because expired says that they expire from old age, so he didn't grow old in 2 days and died. When one of these days he was just shooting people. And illness, I don't think he succumbed to a tragic illness. Something actually happened to him. I just don't know what. If it was speared, spiked, torn apart by a foreign enemy, by a terrible beast. I'm not even sure if this is actually John now. I don't know what to think. This unknown soul was speared by a terrible beast. You're one of the Chinese topmen. You can be Ji Zhang. This unknown soul was clawed by a terrible beast. I have no earthly idea who you could be. You were burned to death. You were spied by a terrible beast. And you were shot by an unknown attacker. The Spiker said that you won't have time for this anyways. That makes sense. This is a kind of a long game. So you were torn apart by the surgeon, Harry Evans. Rain Chef says, wait, the French guy was torn apart. Oh yeah. We have to go back to the crew manifesto. Find the Frenchman. Charles Miner, the bosun's mate. First I have to identify who he is before I can tell what fate befell him. But this is the bosun who is yet to be identified. Could it be you? Torn apart by a terrible beast. Because I have no freaking idea of who you are. I just know that in one scene you disappeared and that's it. Duncan McKay is the Scottish purser. Who could you be? There's not a whole lot of unidentified faces left over. Yeah, I can't determine your fate. What is that? All these topmen, whatever happened to all of them that I can't determine their fates? Rayshap says they said his mate was torn apart. Purser is an officer. Yeah. Well, let's go back to the cargo hold. I think there's some information we could find down there. This was in this chapter. Whereas this guy, he was clawed by a terrible beast. So that's for sure. But
We're no use.
well, so hectic. So you were speared by a beast, but what actually killed you was a shot that someone did. You're Thomas Lanke. You're Peter Milroy. I'm very sure of every single one of you and who you are. You're always Peter. You're the gunner. You are the gunner. You could be anyone, I don't know. You're the bosun. You're the second mate? First mate. And you're the person who we believe is the... Yes, you are the Persian guy. That's for sure. You are the fourth mate, John Davis, who died in another place doing some other things. You were speared by a terrible beast, and you are Nathan Peters. You fell overboard. And also, hello there, Hapozai. Welcome to the stream. You said that this is an interesting game. Well, you should have seen this from the very beginning. It's extremely interesting. Oh no. Everyone's dying in this thing. So you're Charles. You burned to death. You're the butcher. You're him, the surgeon's mate. We are absolutely sure who you are and how you died. You though, we know how you died. You died the same way, by being clawed. We just don't know who you are. I feel like you are a seaman, but I don't know which seaman you could be. Judging by where you are in this picture. You're amongst many. Seamen. Or you're the last Chinese. Because you're wearing this very specific Chinese clothing. Or you are one of the other Chinese. This might sound a little bit racist, but I have no idea how to tell who is who. But we did it. 3 more fates correct. Li Hong was speared by a terrible beast. Ji Zhang was clawed by a terrible beast. And Charles Miner, the bosun's mate, was torn apart by a terrible beast. That was a complete guess, but we got it nonetheless. There we go. 3 more fates. And now we are sure that the last Chinaman is the only one who we have not yet named. Where is he? You're the last Chinaman, Wei Li. You met an unknown fate. You disappeared in this chapter. So something happened to you, and I didn't get to catch it. So that's gonna be tricky. And Onion said that the only diet of natural causes, the end. The Spiker said that's a giant spider, that's not a natural cause of that. Something's afoot. To this Sherlock mobile. There's kind of Lovecraftian monsters going on in this whole narrative, and that's why I think this is so intriguing. I really want to know what's up with this crazy shenanigans. I just don't know what it is. I just know that it is something, but I don't know what. The Ray Shepard say only because of Big Stag husband are doing naturally lewd things. And Oni says, Doug, Kingdom Hearts 3.5 final mix and 3.9 final chapter epilogue confirmed. What? The hell are you going on about? And Hapozai say, gasp, Kim, you don't ask people how they died. Of course I do. However will I know if I don't ask? And Spiker said that is offensive. It isn't. I'm truly and honestly trying to figure out what happened to these people. And since I have very little information to guide me and help me, the only way of me accurately being able to tell who is who and what happened to them is by, you know, asking with whatever information I have at hand. So, if I look at you and all I know about you is that you're a Chinese man, what else can I say? What else can I do? But use the information I have at hand. So there seemed to be some sort of other entryway into the Lazarette. I wonder if there is actually another way to enter the Lazarette and if I can access it. Because that's where the hidden chapter lies. Okay, this was that's how we found out how the carpenter died. And there's no entrances to the Lazarette after all. Or is this Lazarette? I don't think it is. The ship, deck plans. So this is the bosun's store. This is the Lazarette. All the way over there. So one thing we know for sure is that there is some hidden stories in here, but we can't get in there. We can't get in there. So there could be dead bodies or anything going on inside that place. There's the spikes coming out of the walls, which tells me some stories already. Orange Chap says he fell overboard like everyone else.
Keep pressure here.
Hold him down. What madness is this? 20 years my steward had never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those ungodly beasts carry a curse! Throw them back or doom us all!
Tie him up and put him in the lazarette with those things. He may yet find his senses.
Come on.
All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think. Where's the rest of his leg?
So there we go. I think you're extremely right, Rain Shep. This poor sod, whoever he is, he actually died by being torn apart by the surgeon or the surgeon's mate. Or some other asinine explanation the game has. So what happened? Is he alive? No, he died. Did he die? He might be alive, in fact, now that we think about it. We found his leg, but could he be dead? We know that he's John and that his leg was amputated, and we found his leg, but we never actually found his body. So could he be alive? In Africa. That is interesting. We found his leg, but we never actually found his body, so he could be anywhere. Do you think so? Do you think so too? He could actually be alive, or Or do you think he could also be alive, or there's actually some other explanation here? And when you say that you have his leg, you've been chewing on it. Only no, don't do that. Now we are sure that you are possibly the captain's steward. You are the Frenchman. You are the first mate. You're the surgeon, and you're the surgeon's mate. You're... Who the heck are you? The ship's steward. I don't know, could be anyone. You're the captain and you're the bosun. And the game allows me to go elsewhere, that's so I can figure out what happened to the rest of these people, but there's not a whole lot going on here. I know who you are, I know who you are. Yes. You are Lars. You are an unknown person. But you're probably a seaman. Alexander Booth. Why not? And you're... Could you be a top man? Dog damn. I kinda don't wanna guess on who is who. Because I know for a fact that I'll forget later on whose names I have guessed and who names I actually know from having done it. But anyway, Rain Shep, you said that the other guy fell overboard with everyone else in chapter 7, The Doom. I don't know if that is what happened because we didn't see it happening, but sure, he fell overboard. And this unknown soul could be anyone. You're the purser, sure, why not? I really don't wanna keep throwing random names. Because I know that if I keep throwing random names on people, I will not know who is who, and it will come back to bite me in the butt later on. And furthermore, so the end of this corridor takes me to the carpenter's workshop. You died by being spiked to the wall in part 6 of chapter 6. You, though, Zungi Sati, was shot with a gun by an unknown attacker. That I am 100% sure of. The problem is I don't know exactly how that happened.
I've got you. Don't move. I'll get you down.
All I know for sure is that you were shot, but I could not see who was doing the shooting. Orange Shepherd said that had Moba the top man for a while, it might not be him. Yeah, might not, in fact. But we are using racism to infer on certain things. And yeah, This unknown soul has done things. Chapter 6, Soldiers of the Sea, Part 7. Your heavy breathing.
Secure the hold. Someone shoot the damn thing!
Then something struck you. That we know for a fact. We can see a faint faint trail. So one of two things happen. Either the Frenchman, I am almost sure it is the Frenchman now, he shot you and that's how you die, or the thing spiked you again. But I think you were shot with a gun by the Frenchman, the bosun's mate. So now I hope that you are in fact the ship's steward. Because there you can see there's a faint trail coming from that direction into him. And that trail seems to be leaving from that guy's gun. If you check everyone else who was present, he was there. We know the Persian guy is there doing whatever. We know this is the first mate. We know this is the gunner's mate. We know that is the gunner. There's other people we can see in other angles too. This is the bosun. There's dead people on the floor. That seems to be the carpenter, I think. You're the surgeon and you're the butcher. And those other two over there. Hard to tell who you are, but I know for a fact that none of you are the Frenchman because you don't look like him. So this is what I'm guessing. The Frenchman shot him, and that's how he died. Or oh, there's someone coming down from the stairs. True. Hard to tell who that is. Who that is. Well, the midshipmen, they certainly are not those. There's you too. So many things. And Ring Shepherd said I had Moba the Topman for a while. It might not be him. Yeah, it certainly isn't. Just for kicks though, let's try and have you having been spiked by Terrible Beast. Nah, that's not it. You were shot with a gun by the bosun's mate, Charles Miner. We still have fates left over to decide, but I'm not sure we can. Not without some hardcore guessing. Let's go back to the first death. I'm not 100% sure. I know that this guy, whoever he is, was shot with a gun by Edward Nichols. I'm guessing you're a top man. But you could literally be anyone. Ah, there we go. Haha, that's some nice guessing. So, Zungi was shot with a gun by Charles Miner, I got that right. Timothy was shot with a gun by Edward Nichols. And Wee Lee, he fell to his death. Gotcha. And chapter 3 is 100% complete. We have solved all 3 deaths precisely. Now there's the only problem now is chapter 4. But these we know for sure what happened. This true, this true, this true, this true, this true. And it's true. Oh, we have already completed chapter 4. I didn't see that. Sorry. And only you say that you're pregnant. Brain Shop says have healthy stack babies then on it. And only you said now you're kidding. You're just too fat. Oh man. And also guys, you might not have seen, but there's a two new rules that we have decided for this channel. Because of many things. The first rule is that we are first new rule is to avoid RP and leave it to the Discord channels if you guys are into that. And secondly, to keep lewd talk to a minimum if possible. Okay, John Naples, you are alive elsewhere. You froze to death. I don't know what happened to you, John Naples. Spiker says, aren't those the same things though? Not necessarily.
You haven't found out my death duck.
And I never will, only. I'm afraid I never will. They are not the same thing. Because roleplay are literally any sort of interactions. Whereas lewd talk is precisely lewd talk. Okay, are you George Shirley then? I don't know who you are. And
that's cold Duggo, my dog.
And saying and keeping lewd talk to a minimum is in big part to, you know, Twitch TOS. Really is really into the whole you have to avoid I don't remember how they wrote it, but it was avoid sexual content or discussions unless it was for educational purposes, which never is, truth to be told. As for the RPs, I mean, I have nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you know, new people coming into the channel might feel already overwhelmed by the amount of new people they are seeing, these all new interactions, and seeing the role play might make them uncomfortable or straight up give up on sticking around. And I don't want people to be uncomfortable. So those are the new rules. Who are you? Okay, you have a much better clothing than anyone else has, and you're definitely not a steward. So are you a purser? I hope you are. And you're a seaman, I feel. Aha! Well done, 3 more fates correct. Through guesswork. Duncan McKay, the purser, fell overboard to his death. Alexander Booth, the seaman, fell overboard to his death. And George Shirley was blasted with a cannon by Abraham Akbar. You were incredibly right, Rainshep. He didn't fail or anything. He wasn't dragged by the beast. He was just shot with a cannon so hard he vaporized.
Am I still good, Shep Doggo?
Of course you are. Every single one are good. You haven't ever been bad boys or anything. I'm just worried, as always, that Twitch might come along and say, no, you are encouraging people to be lewd or whatever, and come down and take down the channel or anything. So who are you? Okay, you're definitely not Maba from New Guinea. I have no idea who you are. Okay, so now I'm just filling the gaps and trying to do the rest of this through sheer guesswork. So you're possibly a topman. Could you be Nicholas Botterill, Lewis Walker, or John Naples? Who in the world are you? Man. And only says you haven't found out your death, Doug. That's cold. It's Rhaegar. And you said that it's Rhaegar. You're just saying safe word, loot. A ring ship going overboard. And Hapozai said hello to you, ERP. Oh my dog. So you see, the thing I have against the RP is the whole making people uncomfortable, and that is when you kind of when you force interactions with other persons through RP. But if you're gonna be using the dash, or is it dash? No, it's not dash. Use the bar slash me slash. If you use a slash me and then say whatever, that's okay. That's super duper fine.
Only be a good boy now. No more OTP loo.
Because that's within Twitch's thing itself, and it's like, I did this or I did that. But when you straight up say like, I go to this person and I hug them, it's like, do you know if they want that? You may just be yourself being friendly, but Certain people might find that uncomfortable. Arrego, you're awake, you had a nap. Well, welcome back to the world of the living. How was that nap? And Oni, you just woke up a few minutes ago. But Oni, you're the only moderator I have. If you're not around for the biggest part of the stream. However, we will get this whole thing going. I need more moderators. That's what. Arraign. What does OTP means? I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, welcome to thank you for the bits, all of you guys. So, what do you know? Weirdly enough, it's just the in the end, it is just the English guys that we can't say for sure who they are. So John, I'm gonna say that you are alive in the UK, or rather that you are alive in Europe? I don't know. In Africa, why not? Philip Doe, the steward. You could also be alive, why not? John Naples, let's say for now that you're alive in Africa. This unknown soul was speared by a terrible beast. I think you're a topman, so let's go and say that you're a Maba. We know how you guys died, I just don't know who is who. You were torn apart. Could you be Nicholas Botterill, the Englishman? Lastly, you are Lewis Walker, the other topman. Have I got this around? Could you be Nicholas Botterill and the other guy be whoever else was his name? What is his name? Lewis Walker. Nah. There's something wrong here. And over the top. Huh. Makes sense. Never seen anyone abbreviate it as OTP, but makes sense. And only you used to, but damn daylight savings. Yeah. And only says, isn't that OTT? Yeah. And Zach says, Doug, I gotta go. Oh, okay, sure thing, Zach. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed your time in today's stream. Could this be John from Wales? Nah. It certainly most definitely isn't. Why are they giving me this unknown seaman? An unknown topman? Is this a person who who I have defined but have not yet got 100% sure. This unknown topman was speared by a terrible beast. Also, I guess that this is more so just as a kind of a placeholder. Because I don't know who is who.
Dugat Rain Shep is doing it again.
Rain Shep was a drunk boy. Are you drunk, Rain? Are you truly drinking so early in the morning? What? Whoa. Nicholas Baudrillard was speared by a terrible beast. Mamba, the topman, was torn apart by a terrible beast. Wait. Can I confirm in sets of two now? Is that a thing? This unknown topman could only be Lewis Walker. Who else? Apparently. So you're Lewis Walker. Then there's John Naples, Philip Dole, and Martin Perot. How weird. Okay, so the problem now is I know who they are, but I don't know what happened to them. And that is precisely because I can't... I don't know what happened to them because I can't see where they are. So all those things could have happened to them.
Tony was a good boy, who died humble and happy. He was always blamed by someone else's loot, and died knowing everyone loved him, but blamed him.
Oh, that's not true, Oni. That's not true at all. And also, thanks for the bits. Okay, so... I'm gonna... Rain Shepherd say, you think you figured it out. Naples was torn apart by Dole. Really? Could it be? Where did that even happen? I don't remember. It was torn apart by Dole. Who was Dole? Philip Dole, the captain, is a steward. Oh, my dog! All currently solvable fates correct. John Naples was torn apart by Philip Dole, the captain's steward. And Lewis Walker was clubbed to death by Captain Robert Withrow. How in the world did you figure that one out, Ray Shep? There's nothing left to do on the Obra Dinn. But you are so goddamn right now that I think about it. So John Naples had lost his leg. And they are questioning his sanity and they are taking him away, so it could truly be that he was that he did this somehow. Rain said that that was literally a shot in the dark since Dao was being taken to the lazaret. They said he went nuts. Oh yeah, he went completely nuts. But I don't think they would have taken this guy to the lazaret as well with him. They would possibly probably have taken him to the surgery room. I don't know. But that was good wandering, chap. Congrats. So now we have figured out the fate of mostly everyone. The only person whose fate we are not 100% sure is Philip Dole, the captain's steward, and Martin Perrault, the third mate. If they're even alive, that is. Now we go away. Goodbye, Obra Dinn.
We should go. Storm's nearly about, so we won't be coming back.
Wait, did I fuck it up?
The cause of Oni's death
Finally.
was death
Sit
by
down
chocolate.
so you don't fall out.
Okay, goodbye, Obra Dinn. I don't know what happened to you. I'm still intrigued. But maybe now we will know. And then roll credits. 1 week later. What happened 1 week later? The Honorable East India Company Insurance Assessment for the good ship Obra Dinn. Victims of calamitous events at sea prepared by the Company Office of Investigation. 22 pages. The ship was damaged in Squall Atlantic, sunk in storm Falmouth. Payout claimed 20,000 euros. The cargo was lost unwholesomely. 5,000 euros of payout. The cargo crown was lost. Payout claim for restitution 3,000 euros. Captain Robert Witterow. He committed suicide with a gun. Criminal findings: murder of 4 crewmates and estate forfeited to the crown. Oh, he lost all his worldly possessions. William Hulscott, the first mate, was shot with a gun by Robert Witterow. Criminal findings: attempted mutiny. State fined for 25 euros. He died. And Edward Nichols, the second mate, was shot by C-10. Criminal findings: murder of 2 crewmates, attempted mutiny, theft of cargo, and state fined for 100 euros. Martin Perrault. Fate is unknown. Findings of merit: extraordinary valor, exceptional performance of duties, state awarded outstanding wages and reward 90 euros. John Davis was clubbed. Criminal findings: murder of 1 crewmate, state fined for 15 euros. Alfred Clesto, the bosun, was torn apart by a beast. Findings of merit: exceptional performance of duties, state award outstanding wages and reward of 70 euros. Charles Miner was torn apart. He murdered 1 crewmate and got fined for 15 euros. Henry Evans, the surgeon, who made it out alive, is alive in Africa. Findings of demerit: abandonment of crew and vessel, state awarded outstanding wages 50 euros. James Wallace was clawed. Findings of merit: extraordinary valor, state award outstanding wages and reward 50 euros. So state awarded, I guess it means that not he himself got this money, but whoever owns his properties now. So whoever is in his will. Winston Smith was speared, extraordinary valor, state awarded 60 euros. Marcus Gibbs, state unknown, outstanding wages donated to pension. Thomas Sefton the cook was struck and dead, state awarded 40 euros. Emil O'Farrell, exceptional performances as duties, awarded 40 euros. Christian Wolf, gunner, findings of merit, exceptional performance of duties, the state award 70 euros. Olus Witter was shot, criminal findings, murder of one crewmate, attempted mutiny, state fine for 50 euros. Duncan was fined, was awarded 15 euros, and demerit is abandonment of crew and vessel. Finley Dalton was awarded 30 euros. Edward Spratt was awarded 50 euros. Abigail Hoscott was crushed, no claim made. Nuzio Pasco was knifed, no claim made. Emily Jackson is alive. Criminal fine is murder of crewmate. Findings of demerit, abandonment of crew and vessel. State fine for 35 euros. Miss Jane Spurd is alive in Africa. Demerit, abandonment of crew and vessel. State fine for 10 euros. Bunglon Lin was clawed, no claim made. Itbengsia was burned. Murder of crewmate. Expense claim 25 euros. Chio Tan was spiked. Murder of crewmate. Expense claim 25 euros. Hokseng Lao shot. No claim made. Zung Sati was shot. Awarded for 35 euros. Philip Dole, unknown. Criminally found of the murder of one crewmate. Findings of the merit, failure to perform duties. State fine for 35 euros. Paul Moss was killed. Findings of the merit, exceptional performance of duties. The state award 45 euros. Samuel Galligan was knifed. Criminal findings, attempted mutiny, theft of cargo, state fine for 50 euros. Roderick was crushed, awarded 10 euros. Davy James is alive in Africa. The merit is abandonment of crew and vessel, no claim made. Peter Milroy exploded. This merit is extraordinary valor, state award 40 bucks. Thomas Lankay was knifed, state award 30 euros. Charles Hirschtick was burned. Extraordinary valor, exceptional performance of duties, a state award 50 euros. Omid Gull, topman, he fell, his exceptional performance of duties, awarded 35 euros. Timothy Buttman, a shot, findings of merit, extraordinary valor, awarded 35 euros. Huang Li, electrocuted, exceptional performance of duties, awarded 35 euros. Ji Zhang was clawed, extraordinary valor, 35 euros. Li Hong, speared, and criminal findings is attempted mutiny, theft of cargo, state fine for 50 euros. Wei Li Fell, extraordinary valor, exceptional performance of duties, rewarded 45 euros. Nicolas Baudreau was awarded 25 euros. Mamba, the top man, torn apart by beasts, findings of merit, extraordinary valor, exceptional performance of duties, and state unknown. Outstanding wages and rewards donated to pension funds, 45 euros. Lewis Walker was clubbed and criminal findings is attempted mutiny, fined for 25 euros. Leonid Volkov was shot, criminal findings murder of crewmate, state unknown, expense claimed 15 euros. Alarcus Nikishin drowned, criminal findings attempted mutiny and theft of cargo, state unknown, expense claimed 50 euros. Same thing with Alexei Toporov. Nathan Peters is criminal findings murder of crewmate and findings of demerit, abandonment of crew and vessel, fined for 25 euros. And also, hello there Chandler, welcome to the stream. Lars Linde was clubbed, state awarded outstanding wages 15 euros. John Apples was torn apart, findings of merit, exceptional performance of duties, a state award 25 euros. Renfred Rajab died of an illness, outstanding wages donated to pension fund 15 euros. Abraham Akbar was crushed and charged with the murder of 2 crewmates, state fine for 40 bucks. William Wasim was crushed, exceptional performance of duties, awarded 25 euros. Solomon Seed died of an illness, awarded 15 euros. Hamado Diam was spiked. Exceptional performance of duties, the state unknown. Rewards donated to pension fund, 25 euros. Harry Brennan was knifed. Criminal findings, murder of crewmate, fined for 50 euros. Alexander Booth. Findings of demerit, abandonment of crew and vessel, state wages, $5. Patrick O'Hagan. Criminal findings, attempted mutiny, theft of cargo, fined for $50. George Shirley. Extraordinary valor, awarded 25 euros. Samuel Peters was crushed, awarded 15 euros. And a preliminary draft of this assessment has been approved by the Royal Trade Guarantor. Total claim 29,260 euros. On behalf of the Honorable East India Company, I certify all statements as accurate and declare this matter closed in its entirety. HEIC Chief Inspector. Blah, blah, blah. The pocket watch remains in your possession. The book returns to its original owner, Henry Evans in Morocco, as requested. And there he goes. Antargus has finished. I don't know. I think we did. And also, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? 1 year later. Yeah. I'm home, I guess.
Can you believe it? A package at this hour? Oh, the thing smells just dreadful. I think you don't open it inside. I'll be turning in now. Tea's in the kitchen if you need more.
Alright, I can't move, but I can open this. Guess what it is? Of course, it's a dead body or something. Chief Inspector, I write to you with the unfortunate news that Dr. Evan has passed away. He succumbed to his illness shortly after receiving your package. He was very pleased with your correspondence and asked that his gratitude be expressed by returning the book to you, along with the means to complete it. As for the three of us that remain, the Obra Dinn is a distant memory and a dreadful chapter in our lives that we wish to forget. Do not write back. Regards, Jane Bird. Alright. So I do have the book. This tale belongs to you now. Please finish. Henry Evans. Alright. We got the book back. It's chapter 7 in here. 8, rather. Bargain. Oh, it is here. Lovely. So now we can finish it. Have 1 hour to finish the game. This is the letter by Jane Bird. And this is what this is. A finger.
A letter for Chandler. Ahem. Belavoni.
So not a finger, but a claw, a hand. What is this?
There you are. Collect your things. Where's the key? To that door. Gone. Damn. There's no time. We need to go. Right. What are you up to? Nothing, Bruce.
Oh. Oh no, you shot the monkey. Who are you? Oh no, your third mate, Martin Perrault. You were spiked. Unchained, probably too. You're the captain's steward, I guess. Oh no, more murder mysteries. Chapter 8, The Bargain. Now we will get the full story. A friendly but not entirely pleasant monkey companion was sacrificed in the pursuit of knowledge. But anyway, how are you guys doing? We have 1 hour left in the stream. I wonder if we can figure out the end of this murder mystery within this last hour.
A third shell. Captain didn't toss them all. Leave it. Help me lift this. Stop! Why? Well, set you free. Give it the shell. Here. Do it. Hoist it out. To the main deck. Throw it over. Lock the door when you leave. Get the tail, boy. In return, the ship. My Obra Dinn. See it home.
Huh. So who are you? The fourth mate's steward David James, and the first mate's steward Paul Moss. With both of you threw the fish people with the shells, and you died. Martin Perrault met an unknown fate. How was he spiked? A terrible beast. I would assume. Look at that. Has spikes all over. There's one last fishman body here. How did you die?
I'll kill every last one of you monsters. Withdraw the Kraken, or I will kill you all! Ah!
So you had the shell in your hand. And you're the captain. You're killing the monsters. Okay, that doesn't tell me much. I mean, about who's dead and who's alive and whatnot. It just tells me more about the events that transpired. The captured beast fought against its jailer and was speared for the trouble. So now I get to see how you died. Or not. I get to see how this other fish man woman thing died. And Chandler, you're okay.
This is your Kraken! You brought it here! Send it back!
How have you been, Chandler? What sort of fun little things have you been doing with your life? And then you sent another letter to Chandler. This time is O. B and O. Or OB. An unholy creature's defiant shrieks were greeted with a fatal bullet. And now, do we get to see how you died, finally?
What's this? Quicksilver. Herregud.
So you died by putting your hand into this chest to pluck out the shell. Yeah, it still doesn't tell me much. Philip Dole met an unknown fate. You'll burn to death. Hold on, all fates correct. Finally, Philip Dole burned to death. While Martin Perrault was spiked by a terrible beast. Now we know the fate of everyone in the ship. But where does that leads us? The end. Okay, congratulations, you solved all their fates. Now you know how the story ended. Programming design, art, sound, and music by Lucas Pope, for my dad. Special thanks to these people, whoever they are. Taiwanese language consulting, translations and management by those people, localization management by that, one other person, German localization, French localization, Words of Magic, Brazilian Portuguese localization by Jogabilidade, Russian localization by that one person, Japanese localization, ooh. Localizing these people, these things takes some very dedicated minds to do. Oh. Character voices. Everyone had a voice. And then he says, "Oh my dog, what are you gonna do now, Doug?" I don't know. I guess all we can do is go back through this and discuss what happened. And also, hello Leo, welcome to the stream. Wolf morning to you. Because now there's a big problem. That is, we are able to piece together the story by seeing how everyone died, but we still don't know what happened in between those deaths. Unless now that we have beat the game, it unlocks some delicious sort of some full story, that so we can actually see what are the pieces in between. I don't think it will, but it would be awesome if it did, so we could get the entire story. Thank you for playing. Thank you for making this game. How fun. Alright, Return of the Obra Dinn. Created by Lucas Pope, the same guy who made Papers, Please. So it took us 8 hours and 24 minutes to finish the entire game, with a lot of pandering and meandering through this whole thing. Can I... Yes, we can reopen the book and... and go back through it all. So let's see if we can make something out of this. The Return of the Obra Dinn, a catalogue of adventure and tragedy. I trust that you now find yourself aboard the Obra Dinn, blah blah blah. Regrettably, failing health has allowed me to produce only the basic outline that follows. Your presence in the ship is critical. I leave the discovery of its fate and the completion of this book in your hands. The next few pages will seem bewildering at first, all will make sense in time. Use the pocket watch to determine the identity and fate of everyone aboard. Complete each chapter accurately and return the book by guaranteed post to the French Office of Affairs in Morocco. The bar beginning chapter will remain unknown to you. I possess the details within, but have elected to keep them private for now. Because that door is locked and whatnot. But anyway. So the journey was supposed to come, well, the ship left from England was supposed to go do this whole thing here and go down to South Africa. But over here all sorts of crazy shenanigans happened and everything went down. It was not fun. These are the plans for a ship, that's so we can understand how a ship is. This is the manifesto of the crew, who is who and what, how did they die or what fate befell them. And this is a couple sketches made by an artist. That's so we can understand. That's so we can see who is who. Loose cargo. Chapter 1, Loose cargo. On the cargo deck, Samuel Peters was crushed by falling cargo. And an identified stowaway expecting free passage and eventual freedom was instead crushed inside a falling barrel. Samuel Peters is brother to Nathan Peters. A bitter cold. Solomon Said succumbed to a tragic illness alongside Renfred Rajab. And a large cow was slaughtered for its meat. That's how it went. And then, a long time later, they approached the coast of the Canary Islands. In the murder chapter, Nunzio Pasqua was knifed by Edward Nichols, the second mate. But they framed it, and Hock Seng Lao confessed to the murder, or at least allegedly confessed to the murder. And Hock Seng Lao was shot with a gun by Henry Branham. Actually, there was a whole execution squad, but only his shot connected. Everyone else missed. And then the princess, or whoever she is, got all crazy and whatnot, and then she decided to go and she went kinda bonkers. But there was a whole kerfuffle, and during that kerfuffle, Timothy was shot with a gun by Edward Nichols, which feels like an accident or could have been intentional, because as we can see later on, there was some sort of division in the ship, and not everyone was on the same note, and some people disagreed with others, which led to murder. Then there was the calling chapter. This is the biggest jump in narrative. Suddenly we see these people with a boat bringing a glowing box to the thing. Keep course due east. We'll reach the Canaries in 3 days. And then Mrs. Lin says, but the chest must not fall into the ocean. Okay, so this explains a little bit. Second mate Edward Nichols. He killed Nunzio Pasqua because he witnessed the captain trying to steal away the treasure the Formosian people were bringing, which apparently was a big chest of mystical mysteries. So he decided to steal it away. Then he and other people got into a boat, and they were during the middle of the night. They decided to run away, or rather, get on a boat and sail away with the treasure whilst everyone slept. That's so no one would see them leaving and they would not know where they were. So they were on these little boats going away and with the treasure, but they took a couple prisoners, the old Formosan guy and Mrs. Ling. Keep course due east, we'll reach the Canaries in 3 days. Stay quiet and alert. If the wind picks up, we have no chance against the Obra Dinn. But the chest must not fall into the ocean. And then Li Hong says they are talking about strange beasts. Then they showed up, and Patrick O'Hagan was speared by a terrible beast. He said, keep rowing, they are here. Where is it? There's something there, I see it, give us a weapon. Miss Lynn, stay down, pick up the oars and row, you fools. Then Samuel Galligan, the second mate's steward, was knifed by Eat Bang Si when he unbinded himself from the ropes and decided to do something else. But then Bong Lam Ling was clawed by a terrible beast. And then Eat Bang Si burned to death because apparently he tried to put his hand inside the chest and it burned him and he died. And they all decided, fuck this, let's go back to the ship. So Edward Nichols was shot with a gun by Chio Tan, the last Formosan person, when they were returning to the ship. Also, hello there, Neku, welcome to the stream. The wolf morning to you. Or rather, wolf afternoon. It's past noon already. And then they say, ahoy! Someone says, they're back, get the captain, and he says, ahoy! And they say, recover the boat, and he said, wait, don't shoot, I have treasure, I yield. But the Formosan guy did shoot him. Because he ran off with his other Formosan companions. And the chest. And these two Russian dudes, they were drowned by the terrible beasts. Unfortunately. But then they brought back these sea beasts and their dead corpses and locked them into the lazaret. In the Unholy Captives chapter, as they were taking them up, they started shooting spikes all over the place, and Chio Tan and Hamado Diom were killed. Lift this out and take it below. What the hell is going on? What do you know about these things, about the chest and your dead friends? What are these monsters? Where are they from? You must tell us everything. And then he said, this is your fault. The shell must be protected. We will all die. He talked about a shell, very dangerous. Shell? What shell? But then everyone dies. Rain Shep says, bye, you have to do stuff. Oh man, sure thing, Rain Shep. Thank you for sticking around and thank you for all the help with solving the murder. I'll be seeing you later and stay awesome. And have a delicious weekend. On Friday. Then on the gun deck, the cook was killed as they tried to examine the beasts. And then a seaman was crushed by falling cargo. And Joe Naples was torn apart by the captain's steward, partly because he had gone mad. 20 years my steward and never adopted your sanity. Explain yourself. These ungodly beasts carry a curse. Throw them back or doom us all. They didn't do this. They kept those things aboard, so that's what happened. Soldiers of the sea. Those crab monsters started invading the ship. Huang Li was unfortunately electrocuted. And Nick was speared by a terrible beast. Marcus Gibbs was spiked by a terrible beast in the gun deck. James Wallace and Ji Zhang were also called by the terrible beast as they were bringing it inside the thing, or rather it invaded the whole thing. Charles Hirsch took burned to death.